think the whole concept of honour killings isn't just a Pakistani issue. If you look at the last convictions, they weren't Pakistani. They were people from other continents. So let's not, again, demonise Pakistanis on honour killing. Yes, Izat is a big factor, but that's amongst any South Asian families, that's amongst other communities as well.
But surely if this is something which is hindering our community, we should be addressing it.
Well, is it what we look at, when we look at honour in the media, we look at it as a negative. What we don't see is honour is how it preserves us. For me, I've worked against the odds, against the statistics to get to where I am, because I wanted that Izzat, because I wanted that recognition, that self-respect, then there's a community respect, then there's a family respect, then there's a wider respect. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be part of this discussion.
So is that given to you by Pakistani culture or British culture?
It is how you define it. My Izzat comes from within me, of my self-value and how I behave, how I conduct myself. Then that impacts on my family, then the wider community I live within, and then the wider society. It's down to individuals how you behave.
I'm thinking now, after listening to all this discussion, it's one word, well, two words. There's a choice thing for people, and then there's that making that choice, and then there's a massive issue with control. And control is where then the honour and, you know, I mean, from my experience...
Is honour negative in your experience?
It's yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And control, it is all about control.
Why is it negative?
The experience that I've had, because people, you know, for example, you know, my parents, it's always about other people. It shouldn't be about other people, the fear of other people.
How we define our Izzat is down to individuals. There is community pressure. If we choose to adhere to that pressure, that's our choice. That is not something that nobody's holding. No, because, and the reason I say that, and I'm very, very clear about that, is how we behave. And in terms of, we need to, yes, there is an issue in terms of educating people not to look at the social pressures, and there are social pressures of confining to certain norms and certain stereotypes in terms of it, is that I agree with that, but that is down to individuals as well.
But surely there's a lot of external pressure, which comes from a Pakistani community. The pros of a Pakistani community is that it's communal, but at the same time, that same community can turn on a person.
Absolutely.
And it can put pressure on it. There's no denying that
there's no denying that.
Issues of mental health are hidden because of what the others may think. So do you think that there is a valid argument which is being presented, or is that something which needs to be taken in moderation or re-evaluated?
It's not something you can take in moderation. It's that we, as Pakistanis, that is conceived at conception. It runs through our veins.
But isn't that patriotism?
No, not necessarily. It's how...
So what is that actual Izzat?
Izzat is your respect. That is the bottom line. It's what you're born. If you look at, there was a study done on transcultural psychiatry, and if you spoke to a person who was begging on the street in Pakistan, in India, in South Asian community, even if he had leprosy or whatever, on the margins of society, he will still have Izzat to preserve. That is embryonic for us.
But you know what? I think the root cause, I really disagree with you here. I think I agree with what Conor said much earlier, which is about if you give respect, you earn respect. Yeah. It's about fundamental, universal respect for everyone. But you see, look, we're talking about Pakistani culture. There's a fundamental issue with Pakistani culture. Pakistani culture is a culture that is obsessed with status, wealth, power, and position. And they don't
but which culture is not? Huh? Which culture is not?
No. And so in terms of Pakistani culture, this is the virus, I think.
But is that Pakistani culture? Isn't that?
With caste.
As a result of this, all the cultural patterns of behaviour that we have.
But surely that's human nature. We see it everywhere.
Yes, and so what it is this. So therefore, in terms of your
so that's not Pakistani culture.
No, it is Pakistani culture. In terms of core morality, let's give you an example. So a family will overlook a drug dealing son because of the fact that he's got a big car, big house, etc., etc. Overlook the fact that, you know, I dehumanize their daughters and force them into marriage as a commodity for power status and etc.
It's a very rash generalization, but I'd like to bring in
Shabbir. I think we're using the wrong word. If an estate, a white working class state, or even a middle class white area, you have a man who beats his wife up, that would be termed as honour violence. But then, and then here it is. So for me, it's men feel that they own women, and they can do what they like with women. So for me, it's not about honour. It's about men being men, and that's wrong.
Men behaving badly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, and so the positive aspect of my culture, yes, there is a notion of Izat, but it's a positive aspect. And when it becomes oppressive, there are means within the cultural framework to challenge that. And so,
but where are those means? We're not seeing them.
Yeah,
We've seen them in the past. Forced marriages are still happening. Honour killings are.
They happen on a daily basis. And one example I always highlight is a colleague of mine. We used to work around with deaf Asians, and she did a fantastic job in engaging an imam to dissolve or get a deaf Asian Muslim female out of a marriage that she didn't consent to. It happened in Bradford. She did that work. So there's many of these examples, but also you'll find examples that are negative, and we should be challenging those all the time.